We're the Vinyl Verdict, and we're here today to talk about the Iveys Anthology, not the Beatles Anthology. That's everyone else is talking about that, but we're talking about the Iveys Anthology 5, Miniskirts and Rainbows. Very cool release. We'll be talking about it in detail today. For anyone who's interested, we're doing another giveaway. We've got 2 more versions sealed of Iveys Anthology 5. Email me at thevinylverdictchannel@gmail.com and answer this trivia question correctly. You'll be entered in a raffle to win. The question is, what year did the Iveys first form? So you only get one guess. You might know the range, but if you can get the year right, you'll be entered in a raffle to win Iveys Anthology 5. So onto the CD itself, which is also coming out on vinyl early next year, but it's available on streaming as well. Better hurry because they're going fast. I talked to Y&T Music. They're really moving very quickly through their inventory, so order it today if you're interested. Pretty cool to see a new picture of the Iveys. Never seen this photo before. Totals 19 tracks, 48 minutes of unheard Iveys material. 4 demos of songs that we know that were later released, but these are the earlier demos of those tracks. 3 alternate demos of songs that we've heard on different compilations and things, but these are alternate demos. And then the remaining 12 songs are songs that have never been heard. Each member is represented on here: Pete, Tom, Ron, Mike, even Di singing a track. And most interestingly, probably the most revelatory thing is Bill Collins wrote, or at least co-wrote up to 2 of the songs on here, which is not something as a fan we were ever aware of, that Bill was writing songs.
No.
Many of them are archival material, right? This is an archival set. These are not studio tracks. Very few of them, I think, were even recorded in the studio. It's mostly Revox stuff and home demos, and you know, they're unfinished, so you have to be prepared for that. Back cover is the art that was mentioned of Miniskirts and Rainbows, which is a lot of what they talk about in these songs. There's a lot of mentions of miniskirts we'll get into, so kind of a fitting collection. And you know, an interesting time because it's 66 to 69. The Iveys signed with Apple in the summer of '68, so you know, you're getting a sense of what was on a lot of the tapes that were sent to Apple and kind of how the band's songwriting started to progress after that time.
It is a snapshot of an earlier demo time with the Iveys that we hadn't really heard in this kind of detail, and starting with Cleopatra in a Miniskirt, and which kicks off the album, which you know, to hear Tommy's voice and it was a real kick, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so Cleopatra in a Miniskirt is classic kind of cartoons, Iveys sounding, Tom Evans, tactful flirting thing with Cleopatra, but then again the miniskirt theme comes in. So I don't know where he's going with that. It's very kind of mid-60s psychedelic. In the essay that's in this collection, Tom Brennan mentions that it was on one of the, I think, acetates or LPs that was sent to Mal Evans. That was news to me. I'd never heard of that song before, but pretty amazing that it was included as a front runner or something, I guess, that would have made them stand out.
Cleopatra in swinging London of '68 wearing a miniskirt. It was the ultimate compliment.
It's relevant. Track 2 is probably my favorite on the whole thing. It's called I Love You, which is it's a Pete Ham song from 1967. It had been circulating, but never in this quality, and it had a lot of echo on it. This is really, like, as they recorded it, a beautiful Pete Ham song, a melodic touch that Pete puts on those songs, especially in the chorus. Yeah. It's not really in that generic Iveys range. I think it really stands out on this release. And the riff is great. I love that it's riff driven and you got the bass. It's just ripping at times, some of the bass playing on this song.
Yes.
This was given both a 7-inch and a 12-inch acetate. So I assume this was also heavily considered as a single or something, maybe for an upcoming album, and then it was dropped at some point. But it's a really strong composition.
It stood out, as always, in the melodicism that early in it is just a wonder to behold, the way he was already writing.
Third track is Blodwyn, the demo. So one of the previous trivia questions was about the songs that were recorded by the Iveys that became Badfinger songs. A lot of people didn't know that Blodwyn was actually recorded this early with the Iveys. This is really the proof that it was from the Iveys era, not the No Dice era. It's a weird link because I can't really imagine this song being on Magic Christian Music, but of all the tracks on No Dice, this is probably the one that could be from a slightly different time. You know, it's pretty close to the final version. The middle solo is a little different. It's a little more of his, like, I've been waiting psychedelic kind of twirls that he does on it, and a little more Hawaiian maybe sounding in some of it, but also notable because Ron Griffiths is singing in the chorus with him on this song.
You know when he's in the chorus too. You can hear it. Sometimes they reminded me on these tracks of almost a soulful British Martha and the Vandellas or something. Not quite, but just a little bit of that Stax Motown thing going a little bit as well.
The fourth track is All of My Life, Mike Gibbons. You know, the quality is a little worse with these Mike Gibbons demos in the sense of just like the audio fidelity is not there. I don't think he cared about separating it. probably recording the guitar and the vocals at the same time even. But the idea for it's actually pretty strong. I think this is the strongest Mike Gibbons track on the collection. The verse has like an offbeat thing that's almost reggae or something like that. Pretty melodic chorus. I think it's cool again to kind of rotate through the members.
That's interesting rhythmic change in it. Also in another Tommy song that we'll get to, where they seem to do like percussive things on this.
A lot of bongos on this CD also. Gonna say.
Yeah.
Fifth track is That's Okay. This is, if you like Tom, this is Tom at his, he has control of the wheel, and it's a lot of Tom. I think it's 3 different voices minimum, very whiny and double tracked. And but it's interesting because again, the bass and the bongos make this really dominant. So it's pretty bass driven, very unique percussion lines that Mike's adding to it.
So there's a repetitiveness, but that's how he wanted it. I mean, with the finish. You do hear bass running through here, which I guess is Ron on this, which is pretty powerful at times.
Yeah. Tom's going for those hooks, and once he finds the hook, he will repeat it 20 times, He's just trying to write that chorus and get it across, so that's one of those. The 6th track is Spider Woman, which is one of the earliest tracks on the release. It's from 1966. It's a Pete Ham track, and it's unique for having Di Jenkins on it. So he's singing along with Ron. No drums on the song, so it's kind of just like a Revox recording. And again, just crazy how much output came from this early 66 era. I mean, they're less than 20 years old. I mean, we already did Keyhole Street, which was like a double CD of all these tracks, and there's more still coming out from 66.
Amazing.
So yeah, very psychedelic guitar and everything again here too. Track 7 is the demo for Angelique. Pretty close to the final here. This demo was recorded in 68. I actually think it flows better. One of my criticisms of the final version was that middle just kind of comes out of nowhere, the bridge. Here it actually kind of more naturally sits in the song. But yeah, even the kazoos I think make it sound very sappy.
Tom's voice is so wonderful to hear, and then yes, I agree with you. When you get the kazoo verse, it kind of doesn't fit the mood that's been built up, but the Iveys always seems like they did throw in different things like that at times, and effects, special effects, or offbeat things. But Angelique is a beautiful, beautiful melody. I always loved hearing him sing that.
Yeah, it's always great to get a demo too of a song you recognize and kind of see where it started. But with these, it didn't start anywhere that different. I think they kind of had the final idea in mind. Track 8 is Bound to Get Lucky Someday, the Ron Griffith song from 1966. Again, a lot of bongo sections and kind of acoustic guitar only. Pretty amazing, I'll just say, from all these Ron songs. I mean, first off, there was only ever one Iveys album, really, maybe tomorrow. And here we are on the 5th edition of an anthology with 19 songs. That's amazing on its own. Then on top of that, you have Ron, who only had one song on that one album that he wrote, and here he is with a bunch of songs. So it's amazing how much they wrote just to get a couple tracks out to the public eventually. He did a lot of writing leading up to Dear Angie.
Yeah, it really is a great exhibit of showing the Iveys all writing, which you always hear about and have read about, and Bill wanting them to write songs and write about anything. And we've gotten a taste of that before, but it seems on this one you're really getting each member contributing songs, which is really notable. Speaking
of, track 9 is Girl Without Love, another Mike Gibbons track from 1968. Very dramatic. It starts with this like, sounds like Terminator or something playing in the other room. He had a real sense of arrangement. I mean, that's the thing with Mike Gibbons. You could kind of see the seeds of, In the Meantime, like the dynamics. He's playing with like these very staccato beats to open the song. And he's harmonizing double tracked and everything. I don't think the song itself probably stands out, but the fact that he's thinking of the arrangement and these intros and these parts, and that is a really valuable element to the band that's already there in 1968.
Yeah, it was an attention getter when it begins like that, and kind of has engrossed in it immediately.
Track 10, Black and White Rainbows version 2, which is a Pete Ham song from 67. It's actually the 3rd version of the song we've heard. There was one version on An Apple a Day, that compilation with different lyrics and things. And then there was the home demo that was on Keyhole Street. So now we got a second Iveys version, which I tend to believe is a later one just because, again, it feels more confident and the lyrics feel more fleshed out. It's a good song. It fits in, again, with this Miniskirts and Rainbows thing, right? Black and White Rainbows. Track 11, Tomorrow's Today, goes with that idea because that was also released on An Apple a Day. So this is an alternate version of that same Tom Evans track. Got more Miniskirts mentioned. Tom definitely had a thing with Miniskirts. I don't know. They're just all over the place on these songs.
When I heard this song, I believe this is the song. It reminded me very much of that Coming in the Future, Maybe Tomorrow, Beautiful and Blue, that kind of chord pattern, and also just the general feeling of the song. And I had never heard this. I really enjoyed hearing this other Tom song.
Track 12, another demo to a song that would come out on maybe tomorrow, Yesterday Ain't Coming Back. Again, pretty similar to the final version. Even the kazoos are there. Interesting, in Angelique, they replaced the kazoos with, an actual orchestra. Here, they kept the kazoos. Pete's singing it in a similar manner, but there's one change. Interesting, they changed the lyric. In this demo, he says, "You'll be feeling gay," and in the final version, it's "See you another day." That's an interesting, the only lyric to change.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Track 13, Love Means Happiness. That's a Ron Griffith song from 1967, more of Ron's writing. Track 14 is Good Boy, which is a Tom Evans, Bill Collins song from 1967. And this is probably one of the biggest revelations on here. Bill wrote, and he did it with Tom. This had originally been on an acetate that was auctioned off, and people weren't even sure who this was. They thought it was some Apple band. It's clearly Tom Evans singing, but the arrangement doesn't sound like Badfinger. Like the playing, it sounds like Pete Hammond sections, and then it doesn't.
Yes.
And the chorus almost sounds like a different kind of 60s band. Chorus sounds so big, like this could have been a really big song, but this was more of a demo, maybe for another Apple band to record or something. It's just a 90-second snippet. Again, I'm really hoping one day we can identify this and get the full version of the song.
It stands out. It's got a lot of energy in it, and the rhythm of it is different than anything else on the album. It's a little bit of a wake up song at that part, and takes you to a real rhythmic place. And Mike Gibbons always said that about Tom, that he had so much soul, and Good Boy really bounces right out at you. It's pretty strong for the Iveys.
Well, and Bill wrote part of it, so you can hear the piano work in there.
I would like to know
stuff.
how that broke down, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if they wrote it together or Bill had the idea, but it seems like with other things, Bill wanted to, get into writing and having other people record these songs. But it seems overdubbed and stuff. I think this is like a pretty, professional recording. So that's 1967, though. That still predates Apple. And that's right after Tom joined the band, if it's really 1967. Then we fast forward to the other most interesting thing on here, All the Fun of the Fair. Exclusively written by Bill Collins in a very pastiche, kind of like 30s, 40s big band style, and recorded October, November 1969. So the reason this whole collection is titled 66 to 69, this is basically the only song that's from 69 on here. And it's from late 69. That's after they've done all the Magic Christian and everything. And Bill Collins is making them record one of his songs for Mary Hopkins to follow up Goodbye with.
That's interesting.
What's his motivation?
That's interesting that he was going to actually, it would be interesting to see what her reaction to that song was.
I wonder if she ever even heard it. It's got piano, accordion, bass. It probably has, like you said, Good Boy has the most upbeat thing. This has the coziest, relaxing feel of any song on the album, where it's the longest also. It's 3.5 minutes long.
It's a very atmospheric song, and he creates a kind of a mood in it that you have to hear. I don't know, it's almost like a light day tripping kind of going to wherever he's going to, whatever the
circus kind of feel or something.
It's not, totally without merit. I was totally unaware that he ever wrote anything.
And another thing I was going to say, maybe the reason he had Pete sing it is Knocking Down Our Home. It's kind of sung in a similar style, and he played piano on that, and Bill Collins probably liked that song that was in his kind of wheelhouse, and maybe this influenced him to record this one. Yeah,
could be.
Okay, from there we get to track 16, Please Understand Love, Mike Gibbons. A piano demo. We haven't heard that many examples of Mike Gibbons doing a piano demo, so it's kind of interesting. Getting towards the end here, we get to track 17, I Miss You, the long-awaited demo. I think everyone knew, we had a Pete home demo, and we had the Badfinger version. We always said that came from 68. Here it is, this is the Iveys playing I Miss You. And I think the arrangement here really makes sense. You kind of have the drums pushing it along in a way that it's not there on the Warner album. Faster than the Warner album, I have to compare it, but it definitely seems like it clips along. There's a little bit of that weird circus organ stuff, but it just feels more authentic and organic, and the double track sounds good. You can tell Pete went back and listened to this as a reference point to create the mix that was on the Warner album. There's no way he remembered all these details. I really think he listened to it and he's like, oh, I'll re-record that. And I think it works here, but it did not work in the re-recorded version. I actually prefer it.
It's an eye-opener to hear it as a band sound, as a band performing this song, which, technically it's on, the first Warner Brothers album, but, we all kind of didn't think it was really the band performing it.
Yeah.
Here the Iveys are taking a crack at it.
Track 18, I Love the Way You Hate Me. Tom Evans, 68.
My favorite song title.
Only Tom could write something like that. Very Stones in the way it's kind of delivered too. It's got a little bit of an edge to it and kind of antagonizing.
Dedicated to all the people that, you know, in life that where relationships didn't work out.
Yeah.
And
The album ends with track 19, Girl Next Door in the Miniskirt, 1967. One of my favorite Iveys tracks, actually. I think this has kind of the biggest punch and it's of its time. This is an alternate version. It's called the whistling version, where it opens with that. Final miniskirt reference on the album for an album that's about miniskirts. And I love the pumping bass line. The fake ending here is really cool that it kind of fades back in at the end. Overall, I prefer the other version.
again, it's swinging London, and there they are, some guys from Swansea. I guess it must have been pretty interesting to see, and they were focused on those miniskirts. But I like the song. I think it's got a nice bounce to it.
That's kind of the 19 songs on this. Iveys Anthology 5, Miniskirts and Rainbows. I would say highlights, I Love You, the PAM song. The I Miss You demo really stands out actually as a Badfinger fan, knowing that always existed. And then the Bill Collins contributions, All the Fun of the Fair and Good Boy. And you'd probably add Cleopatra In A Miniskirt to that list.
Yeah, I love to hear Tommy sing. Even the early Tommy Iveys voice is also beautiful to hear all the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, it's an archive release. You're probably not going to listen to it front to end that often, but it's got some really interesting historic gems on it, and those songs I mentioned stand out. So let us know what you think. Iveys Anthology 5, and thanks for watching.